Can you imagine a world where we all use the same characters? Haste, what should I do? It's very true. You're not like this. It's simple and straightforward. It's kind of inspiring. And hey, Deed Pigs, edit Pino, Broadway, singer that's it anyway. Offer. Enjoy online. Welcome to the game concept. I don't want to make a joke here, I just want to ask questions. If your character is represented by a single character, which character? Take the time to implement your style in detail. I really want to see everyone talking. You can find some new tips to use. Tired of the old Caliber 11? It's time to dump her and move on. I don't think I've received many requests to download the game. Other than FNAF. I think it's FNAF 2. Then FNAF 3. Please wait a little longer. Should I be afraid of something here? Whatever happens, YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter want Undertale. Honestly, I'm glad you caught my eye. Real estate experts know that Earthbound is my favorite game. So it's like a self-aware. Man, it's like a gift from heaven indie game. Undertale represents all aspects of the game. From native goats to green plants. It has a beautiful design and a unique look. Motivation, purpose, fear. The game informs you if you are defending or killing yourself every time I go on a date. But for me, one type of character is more important than the other. Nonsense Skull is nicknamed Comic Sans. Therefore, all the information about the situation at the beginning of the section. If you're still playing Undertale, this is a very different opening. Anyway, Sans, well, there's a lot of secrets about this guy. Before I begin, let me give you a very specific spoiler story. Undertale is a blind game that offers the ultimate experience. So if you don't play again, stop the video and come back when you're done. I swear to you, I assure you will not repent. Now, are you all in the pool? Ready for a hard bath? You know, I'm trying to figure out Sans' secret. Reviews for people who have never played. Don't listen to thieves' warnings, or you need to upgrade. Sans is one of the two skeletal brothers in the game. His friend was a papyrus, a ferocious and crazy lover whose name is a man. But in the Undertale world, their origin is a big question. All we really know is what President Snowden has to offer. The account of Sans and Papyrus states that they came one day, settled down. It's amazing, isn't it? At the same time, Papyrus is a bit of a frame. Sans is much harder. Yes, he likes to laugh, but he is very villain and very murderous. Not only is his boss the toughest fighter in the game, but he's one of the only characters. He has the knowledge and the power to spend time in space. He often builds short distances in foolish ways around the world and on the wall. He also adds that it is one of his endless versions. Create conscious stories about the different times you play the game. You can also count how many times you have died. He is like the ruler of this world, judging by the movement of the player in the game. Explain the secrets of X and love, or to clarify the timing of the punishment and the level of violence. In short, they have little place in the world of other monsters. But what are who? Well, the idea is out of this world. The evidence seems to suggest, of course, a former citizen. At the very peaceful end of the game, the group returns to the sky. Papyrus asks Sans about the big ball. We call it Day, Sensei. This is important for the following reasons. I use the word new to see the sun. Sans indicates a relationship or acquaintance with other people. He and Papyrus are shells, but they may not be brothers, and it seems that at the same time he goes to hell and really hears the broken voice. Oh, Bess, there are two very different stories. Why doesn't Papyrus know the name of the day, but Sans knows? Hearing Sans say, I want to go home shows more about Sans' origins. He said that one day, request payment, and before you say he wants to go back to the country. Of course, not the whole story. Another line of his remarks, and the failure to enter the face of the earth would be very painful. The K word here is time. Yes, it looks like he's coming from a country where he wants to come back, but on his account he has no regard for his home. Like in the video world he knew before he disappeared, and it seems from another time. This is very interesting. So I sat next to the creature that appeared to be invisible, perhaps on a human face, but from another time it looks like a phone call control. There are many questions and not many answers, but here things get really good. Sans has a secret workshop that needs a lot of research to follow. You can say there are many decisions to open. However, the conditional references to the settlements on the side. As you search for this Easter egg, Sans gives you the key to your room. It's time to learn the truth. After some research, find a workshop that contains articles that ask additional questions. A photo album with Sans and a group of funny people you don't know. There was a floor, an unpublished hand-drawn map, and a red car hidden behind a curtain. In the latest update, another information has been added. A hand-drawn picture of three eyes with a smile and the words "Don't forget." forget. So what does it all mean? Yes, many Undertale thinkers have compared these statements to a mysterious figure named Gis. It's a spiritual character that never happens in a game. In fact, hiding is a concept in itself which may be better to save for another day. However, keeping one is impossible for the average person, especially photo books and presentations, so that got me bored while I was doing research at Undertale. Any signs that really surprised me. What is different in a large physical product from a ruminant? Something has to explain the truth of Sans. The signs at Undertale aren't that great. Then he killed me. What if he is not an Undertale? If there is a sign of a different game, and is he still the most important man in the history of gambling? Franklin's mark. Now, for those wondering what I'm talking about, Franklin Badge is an editor for the Mother line. You know it's Earthbound, or you probably don't know it. You know who is Ness from Super Smash Bros. Yes, no Earthbound Ness. And Earthbound is the second installment of this amazing Mother Earth series. Hey, it's amazing. However, the Franklin symbol is an important part of the series. It starts from the first game and continues throughout the third set. Save your life many times in the process. It's important that Nintendo turned it into a key player in the Smash Bros. Series. So I'm wondering if the symbol on Sans bit is that symbol. Yes, first all, Undertale has been added to my favorite game. Let it be colder, but it's still a very logical addition. I wanted more, and I'll tell you, it was an awesome experience. At the end of Earthbound, you will be given a photo album to share your experiences throughout the game. To me, this is one of the best and most fun in games to look at as a picture for your trip. And what happens to Sans in his closet? A photo album full of Sans photos and people you don't know. Of course you don't know them, they're the characters in Undertale. Remember the word used here, people you don't know, not monsters under the ground. So there are two really amazing articles in the Mother series. But how do the plans relate to a broken neck? Well, in the last episode of Earthbound, Ness and his three friends have to move forward to fight their last battle against the evil Gigas. For this purpose, doctors and nuts remember him. This is important later on. With the help of scientific assassins, Kid and Mr. Saturn create what is called a stage damage, a car that allows a person to move around in time and space. Besides, it's expensive. Organic materials cannot be replaced. Eventually, you heroes are encouraged to put their souls into robot bodies. Choose the vehicle to save the world. I played this game in 1997. I'm not ashamed to admit I cried when I first saw the show. It's bad, Dr. Andu. At home, this is the last very dark room, making it a fun and colorful. So what does that have to do with Undertale? Basically enough. But the first thing you need to know is that Mr. Saturn is known for his unique language style. This explains the illegible handwriting of the image. What about a car? I think there is a broken phase distortion behind this curtain. It may be a piece of work, but it really explains a lot. When Sans reaches the underworld due to degree distortion, Sans can become a bond. He's the Machina's organic material and suffered from the consequences. It does not kill people, but turns most of it into piles of bombs. This also explains why Sans lost hope of returning home. Remember, Twister is a time machine. He's in hell, so nowhere else. But for his part, he was there at other times as well, not expecting a return to its original era. However, the intersection between Earthbound and Undertale continues. Talking to a Placate at the end of Earthbound will give him an astronomical opportunity. Ness Gagazwan, he said he would continue to study his so-called courageous qualities to use his power. It is very similar to the same experiment in Undertale, but with the characteristic self-declaration. The main reason is that there are many suggestions that Sans is the main player in the experiment, but you also need physical evidence, right? Don't worry, there are many. On one of the final Undertales, you will see Underrain and Alphys. Walk along the beaches on the surface of the Earth, lots of beaches to do. Go to a tropical resort called Summers to play Earthbound. In fact, the geographical location of the Earth's surface is almost identical to that of the Earth Mother. When the Undertale monster team finally came to the surface and looked at the ground, they were blessed at the beautiful sunset over high mountains, large cities, and sandy landscapes near the water. Remember, there is sand and sunshade in front of the water, and there is no tree in the middle here. Yes, Earthbound has a large city on the left with skyscrapers, a place to go through the desert by the water, and the east side, Mount what a pronounced don't know here. Meteorites fall to the earth. I always call him one pronounced he, but if you are not clear enough, Mother 1, Earthbound 0, beginning of the universe, whatever you call it, it has many names. There is a map showing the same geographical landscape. A high mountain to the east of the great city, all separated by expensive deserts. I don't know you, but it seems to have something to do with Eagleland's world, pronounced Arlen's Rind. The land of the eagle, pronounced all in land. Again, I do not know how to pronounce it. Between the world of Eagleland and the surface world of Undertale. But of course, it is the strongest physical link that integrates the two franchises. It comes from the papyrus itself. He wears a special suit called a combat body. However, if you look closely at the design of the armor, there are some marks on the chest. Is it just unnecessary data? 4. There's exactly what is drawn on Starman's chest. The best enemy in the bound world, and see how it is. I always thought it was awkward until I saw the two characters next to me. The curved arms and palms of the paper match the curved arms of the Mother Star series. In short, there is overwhelming evidence that the Earthbound universe is connected to the Undertale world. It brings us back to the basics. physics. Or the Sans. What if we take the last step and say Sans Ness of Earth is connected? Posted by Phase Distorter during a courage test with the Franklin badge. Photo album in a safe backpack. Not only did everything in the workshop suddenly go well, but the bus was rude as well. Note that Sans can teleport and Ness has the ability to teleport. Now look at how Sans always stands. Put your hand in your pocket and straight into the camera. This is pretty much the same way Ness is portrayed in most marketing materials for the game. It explains why Sans is bleeding when you finally hit off it is, or at least human. Oh, and finally, Sans is the only letter taken from the nanogram. The first action was Thor. Legendary Toby Fox has joined Earthbound's Halloween hack. But this is not an easy summary. The Halloween hack is the post-Earthbound story by Dr. Undertale. Do you remember what I told him? He is the musician. In Toby Fox story, you see Jagus get angry and the baby's spirit does not return home. But after traveling and doing most of Jagus, they have created a new but stable timeline. As a result, Jeff never saw his father's doctor again, and nuts. Dr. Anarnart was charged. I was responsible for working on the time machine, so he pleased the souls of his sons and friends to return them to what he thought was deed. In his mind, he killed for children. While he was playing Toby Fox, he tried to correct that mistake. I tell you, this hack is black. However, there are many Undertales in this game. Fusion, good music, first use of Megalovania. Flowy's archetypes and tactics can make it flawless and strengthen enemies. But wipe out the concept. Remember, in the Toby Fox story, the kids don't come back, they're bound. At first, there was no hope of returning home like San. In hacking, for no reason, some form is lost. And perhaps now his soul was somewhere else than his 3 frames. This will take you back to Undertale 3 Eyes with Don't Forget written on it. She wants Ness to remember his 3 frames. It's a long story. Undertale follows Toby's power of Earthbound, and Ness is unable to return home. In the collection of papers, it gets the name Sans. The ex-interstellar and English-speaking foreigner had his signature and character. But there is no evidence of things like the sun on Earth. All the pieces were perfect. Our current favorite is the Pokey Porky skin. We have a real process, but it's just an idea. Game idea. Thanks for watching. Was this information to tell us who Gaster is? Never mind. I also know there's an Undertale idea in the action and a deedly ending, and then Guma launches the game. So if you're a franchisee, sign up to receive notifications of videos coming out in the coming weeks. Would be if you want to learn more about Earthbound Halloween hack. He was before Undertale and is playing now you again. The stream is Wednesday at 4:00. Take a look. It's really crazy, but it's also fun to see what's going on inside Toby Fox. If you want to catch up, boom link here. I think the clip summarizes as follows. Matt Padalo in Mexico. Applause. Or click here to learn more about my favorite game, Earthbound. It's an old idea about the true nature of the game. Look at the old one. So go back and laugh at how bad my editor is. This is a story. Looking back, interesting. But of course, the knowledge about the beauty of Earthbound is always relevant. Hope you all enjoyed this piece. Click to view section. You can share my favorite game with you. In fact, this is one of the best games ever made. But now, excuse me, I need to look at some examples of human activity in Southeast Asia. See you next week.